part 5 of a multi-part series featuring Wake County, North Carolina. Back in September of 2020, Mike and Jeff, NC Tyrant Hunter, headed out to Raleigh, North Carolina to try to find someone willing to step in and hold local level government accountable. On September 15th, 2020, Mike headed out to find the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation. After Mike turned one driveway too early, a seemingly pleasant individual got Mike back on track to find the SBI office.
So back towards the road?
Yes, sir. Back towards the road. Then if you make a left.
Yeah.
And then make the next left.
Okay, so I was one too short.
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Thank you.
No problem.
I'm narrating over Mike's walking because there's quite a bit, and many locked doors, before he finds any actual people on the SBI campus. Once he finally did, they didn't know where to tell him to go and had to phone a friend to find out. All right, they got Mike heading in the right direction.
Can I help you?
Hi. I'm trying to find the State Bureau of Investigation.
Okay, this is them.
Cool.
Who'd you like to speak to?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to get an investigation done on it. It's a district court judge, DA, and sheriff's department in
Okay, what county is this?
Rockingham.
Okay. I have to give you this is not the location that you need to speak to. I need to give you the number for the SBI in that area. You want me to just tell you the number or call?
No, I thought this was the SBI.
It is, but this is just headquarters. This is not where the agents are.
Oh. Is there anybody here that I can talk to about that process? Like, because I've called.
They're in a meeting right now.
Okay, I can wait. Is there?
I'm not sure what time they're out. I can dial the number if you want me to. You can talk to them.
Okay, sure.
Okay, let me get the number. Here's the phone right here. I'll give you.
And that's to call who now?
It's the SBI office.
For, you're saying for talking to an agent?
Yeah, you can tell them what you need.
So I've tried that already, and that's why I was trying to go to headquarters, because doing it through the.
You want to talk to them?
Well, doing it through the number, probably that you're calling, they refuse to do an investigation. That's why I was trying to go to headquarters to try to figure out how we can actually get them to do an investigation.
Okay. okay. If they won't do it, then we won't. I mean, they know what they're doing. You can also call your district attorney's office or Department of Justice.
Well, no, that's the problem. The district attorney is the one that's doing the criminal activity. The DOJ, the Attorney General's office.
Yeah, call them too.
Yeah, I've tried. I've left them messages. We've had state reps call and leave the messages. We actually went to their headquarters yesterday, and they were all closed down. So.
It's just because of this virus.
I don't know. I'm just trying to follow up. So since I wasn't able to get help by calling the number,
right.
I was going to come to headquarters and see if I can talk to somebody to try to figure out why they're not doing an investigation, and if maybe we can.
They probably don't have jurisdiction or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just guessing. I don't know the details.
So is there like a complaint form I can get to try to address that?
I just call the district office back.
Well, I mean that's the one that refused to do.
Well, they know what they're doing, so if they won't do it, then that they won't do it.
Well, that's why I'm at headquarters to try to report the ones that weren't doing their job.
Nobody here though.
Okay. You don't have any kind of complaint form or any complaint process?
No.
Really? Okay.
May I help you?
Yes, ma'am. I have been hacked and stolen from 3 times so far.
What county? Do you live in what county?
White County.
Okay, let me give you a number.
Okay.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's been hard too since January.
Mm.
There's a number to call.
Okay, let me ask you one more thing.
That's
ma'am.
SBI.
Oh, that is.
That is SBI number.
Okay, let me ask you one more thing. And they don't want to get caught, so they shut me down from doing emails so I can report it. I can't receive or send emails, and I can't use nobody else's.
The person answers the phone. I don't know.
Oh, can I call them on that phone?
Yeah, it's dial 9
Uh-huh.
and then 9 to get outside line.
Okay.
And then 779.
Is there somebody that does records requests here?
For criminal background?
No, it's to get like reports.
No.
Okay.
It's the district offices, not this place.
Okay. Is there anybody else here that I can speak with, or are they all in a meeting like you said?
They're in the meeting.
Okay. I guess I'll wait because I'm still trying to
Yeah.
do some work, so I'll wait for him. Is there a place I can sit in here? Maybe.
My name is Lisa Manning. I'm in the FBI's lobby. I need to report. I need to desperately need to know. I've been hacked and been stolen from 3
Time gap.
Either file a complaint or try to get an investigation started for Rockingham County.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my name is Audre Bridges. I work with the SBI.
Okay, cool.
Here is my, well, I'm sorry, sir.
Your lab.
I am the assistant director for professional services.
Okay.
I've got a notepad with me.
Okay. Great.
I can take the information.
Okay. So I tried reporting some criminal activity out of Rockingham County. It's with the district court judge, the DA's office, and the sheriff's department. And I called. I think I first called.
Oops. Battery change.
What was the question?
You were just saying you mentioned this to somebody and they want to talk to you.
Yeah, it was the office that handles the Rockingham County area.
The sheriff's office or the DA's?
No, the SBI branch that does investigations for Rockingham County.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I think I called initially probably the headquarters number, and then they directed me to the Rockingham County investigators.
Uh-huh.
And when I told, they even actually put me through to a supervisor. This was about a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so I told them what was going on, that there's a district court judge by the name of Chris Freeman, and then the district attorney's office and the sheriff's department that are all working together, kind of co-conspiring to deprive constitutional rights and deny equal access to the courts due to disability. And the supervisor and the SBI told me that he couldn't do anything to investigate unless local law enforcement or the DA's office asked him to. And I said, well, they're the ones that I'm reporting the crime on. They're not going to report themselves. And so,
Yeah, so Yeah. So the way, I don't know if that supervisor explained it to you. The problem a lot of people have is really with the way the SBI is set up.
Mm-hmm.
We certainly have the expertise to investigate whatever, but we have to, the way we're established, we have to be requested. We're an assisting law enforcement agency. We don't have
primary jurisdiction,
subject matter jurisdictions where we can just come in and take an investigation.
Right.
These are some way. There are some ways around that, or to get that to happen.
Okay.
One is talking to a prosecutor. So he's right. Someone has to request us, either from the prosecutor or the local department. And when you're in a situation where you feel like both of those are still not doing what you think needs to be done to bring.
We have evidence that they're co-conspiring to, to work to prevent equal access to the courts because of disability. So it's not really an opinion. There's documented evidence that all three of those, the judge's chambers, the DA's office, and the sheriff's department are all working together to prevent equal access to the court.
So when you have that, in order to still get the SBI to investigate, someone has to initiate that.
Right.
Most county, I don't know if there is an overseeing judge for judges. That's the Chief Justice, Beasley. She has oversight over local judges.
Okay.
If you think the local judges, so that's one check for the judges.
We've tried through that. We've done the Digital Standards Committee. We did a complaint with them, and they convened on 9/11, so Friday. They convened then, but this is around equal access, basically civil rights based on disability and non-discrimination, and so that's the Americans with Disabilities Act, and at the state level, it's the state law is NCGS 168A. As the specific state law that they're breaking. And so when we filed that with them, we just heard back late yesterday that that's not their jurisdiction. Basically, the Judicial Standards Committee doesn't handle the ADA and civil rights complaints. That goes through the DOJ, like in the federal level, which we filed. We filed that months ago. They're just really, really slow,
Yeah, it is.
They take years.
You can always call your local, find out the number for, I would probably do Raleigh since you're so close to Raleigh. The Raleigh FBI.
Yeah.
So they have a civil rights division.
We did.
That I know,
we reported it to the FBI branch out of Charlotte.
Yeah. They're not going to, Charlotte has its own civil rights issues.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So Raleigh has an FBI office though.
Okay.
They can, I know they've evolved over the years because a lot of the officer-involved shootings I work, FBI, Civil Rights Division, they have more agents now assigned to it. Yeah. So you could probably get, they have the subject matter jurisdiction for civil rights.
Is there another way to get the SBI to get jurisdiction? Like if the governor asked for an investigation?
Even if the governor called and requested one, he may have to confer with the Attorney General.
Okay.
The AG's office is the prosecutorial body for us. So
we filed it with them, and we haven't heard back from them. We have the state legislative reps for Rockingham County even followed up with the AG's office. I was in their office yesterday, and he's like, "You've heard back from them, right?" I'm like, "No, have you?" He's like, "No." I'm like, he's like, "Well, he just assumed that I was in contact with them." I'm like, "No, they haven't reached out." So.
Well, what's your name? I can check for you if you want me. What's your first name?
So nobody has done anything about it. I don't know if the rep was Kyle Hall. Kyle Hall's office was trying to follow it up.
Kyle Hall?
Yeah, and so the Attorney General's office is closed. We went there yesterday to try to talk to somebody. And they're not taking anybody.
No, but I have phone numbers. I can check to see if they actually fielded a complaint.
Okay, and then it's just if you call them and ask about. Because we have people call up from other states they're calling the AG's office asking about Rockingham County, and they're like, "Oh, it's about the blind guy not being allowed in the court system." They already know. They know it. They know about it. The governor's office has been informed about it. Like that's what we've been finding. There is no checks. Like you were trying to say, there's these checks, but they're in place, but nobody's doing them. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What's your name?
Don't feel comfortable giving that. Like you'll have it. Like as soon as you call and ask about the blind guy that's being prevented access in Rockingham County, you'll have all that information. But I just don't feel comfortable giving it out.
Okay, that's fine. Well, my name is Audre Bridges. If
Okay.
you want to just give me some time, I'm here probably once a week, usually once or twice, maybe the Monday or Tuesdays.
Yeah.
I also work some in Charlotte.
Yeah.
But if you want to come out and check with me to see if I've talked to anybody, and
Yeah.
get you any answers, you're more than welcome.
I'll give you a contact card. It has email address and everything that you can follow
Okay.
up if you hear anything.
I will. I'll call on your behalf and see what I can find out.
Yeah.
See if there's any checks I'm missing. I may be missing some, but I don't think so. I think that I got the checks right.
Right, because I've tried like all those. The FBI, I know the FBI has civil rights. You know, they're from the executive branch. They can go in and stop something that's happening.
But
the governors.
we're in a protected class, so FBI's have evolved over the
Yeah.
years. They have more people assigned, but maybe going through Charlotte, they're already so busy with stuff.
So try Raleigh, you think?
Yeah. I don't know if you've heard about the stuff, all the riots and stuff. Sometimes they just have.
They get overwhelmed.
Things.
Sure. The short target versus the long target. Yeah.
Well, Raleigh may be just another avenue, or DC, but I would try Raleigh first.
Yeah.
Because those are agents that are here.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. Because we keep trying everywhere we can. We've tried the disability NC. Like legal assistance, and they're actually tracking it, and there's a lawyer assigned to the case that's trying to work.
There are some organizations that could help.
Right. So there's a legal route to try to delay the judge, because as it stands now, like if I go to court on October 2nd, is when they want me in court. He's threatening me with criminal contempt if I go with my assistive technology. And I don't go anywhere without my assistive technology. I use it for navigation, for note taking, for accessing documents, and he says I can't. If I go with it, he's going to hold me in criminal contempt and throw me in jail. And I'm like, well, that's denying equal access, like equal rights. And he doesn't care because he's a judge. Like instead of handling it administratively, like an ADA request is supposed to be handled, he took it out of the clerical realm, because there's a clerk that's the disability coordinator at every courthouse, and at the state level at the AOC, they have a disability coordinator for the whole state. And it's supposed to be handled administratively so the clerks can handle it. Well, they passed it on to this judge, and he took it into the judicial realm and made an order, threatening me with criminal contempt if I go to court with my devices. So the clerks and the ADA coordinators' hands are tied. They can't do anything. They can't override the judge.
They can't, no.
So it's like who stops a judge when he's acting, criminally? Yeah. And so we called the sheriff's department. The sheriff's department laughed at us and said, "Well, just get a lawyer and good luck with that." And I'm like, "Well, that's a lawyer." Like is he has to file motions and things to try to stop a judge. So that means we have to go to another jurisdiction, like a higher jurisdiction, to try to get another judge to rule against this judge, which we're trying to do with the disability rights NC lawyer. But this is a criminal activity, and this, primary jurisdiction was the sheriff's department. He just laughed at us because I even gave him the state law that he's breaking, and they're not interested in enforcing it on. So we called talked to the prosecution. They're doing the same thing. They're in cahoots. So like, well, the judge is the judge. We can't do anything to stop the judge. And we're like, okay. So who do we go to? When the checks and balances and the three tier of government, like we called the executive via the sheriff, and then we called the governor's office, and they referred us to the Judicial Standards Committee, and we talked to them, and we went to the FBI, and then we made a report out of Charlotte. I called you guys, and then I told you that's when the Rockingham ones, they said we can't do anything. So I'm just like, where's the recourse? Where's the checks and balances? I know the federal DOJ actually does investigations and ADA complaints, and they get to it, and they'll do something, but it takes like 18 months to 2 years before they get to them.
Most of them do take a while.
Yeah,
I would see if
they're gonna be locked up by then. If I were just going to court.
Yeah, I hope not.
Me too.
I'd really try FBI locally.
Raleigh one, okay.
Yeah, and see if they can at least make some type of suggestion to help get you what you need, and you won't be put out from using your devices to get the court.
Yeah.
I would check with them first.
Okay.
But like I said, I'm here a couple of days a week, usually the front part of the week. So if you want to stop back by, please do. I'll let you know who I've talked to.
All right. Now, can I put in a records request that you maybe forward on to somebody to email me?
I think everything goes through the legal, but I can take your request and
sure.
give it to legal.
That's perfect. I'm just curious, like. Whatever, I know a lot of the law enforcement records are not subject to public records under the NCGS 132, the public records law. So whatever you can give me for the last say the last 5 investigations into local jurisdictions, whether it be DA's office, judges, or law enforcement. So
Then
just all records pertaining to the last 5 investigations.
for is it a particular entity to see?
No, I'm just curious, like what you guys have and what you release to the public for that kind of record, and that way I know,
Okay.
in general, like
Would
how
you
often
want-
you guys are doing investigations into local law enforcement, or
Okay. How do you want me to get this to you? You want to just check back with me?
yeah, email's fine if you want to email it to me.
Let me see. It says insightisfree@gmail.com.
Yep, insightisfree@gmail.com. You got it.
Okay, I give it to now. If it doesn't come from me, it might come from our council.
That's
but
fine.
I'll give them
That's
your
perfect.
request.
Yeah. So to be clear, any report where you guys are not assisting with an investigation, but are like the subject of the investigation is local law enforcement or a judge or like DA's office. Does that make sense?
I'm sorry, that's the background.
Oh yeah.
Say that one more time.
So the I want like anything you can give me where with those last 5 investigations you're not necessarily assisting with local law enforcement, but the subject of the investigation is local law enforcement or DA's office or judges' chambers.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It
Okay.
does. Now, the only thing that may be restricted from that is
Yeah.
if it's a current investigation.
Yeah, I understand.
Because
Yeah.
we don't want everybody knowing they're being investigated
Perfect.
sometimes.
Yep.
But I will give it to you.
Yeah, I'm just curious, like how, just basically the climate we have. You were talking about the
Yeah.
protests and everything. There's the public trust is real low with
I know, and transparency is needed.
yeah,
I agree.
and so I think this will go far to if you guys say, hey, look, this is actual places that we got reports on, we followed through, and we found that these guys were out of line or breaking rights or breaking the law, and we fixed it. So
Okay.
so.
I will.
Because where I'm at, I'm striking out everywhere, and so I've like my trust in it has gone way real low. Everywhere I go, like everybody's like, I don't know how to help you. Good luck, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, to be honest, it does take some time to think through the checks. Like, what else could you do? Because I just know that they are available.
Yeah,
And knowing that how the SBI is set up, if we were able to function as our own, like we're gonna start this investigation on our own, then we would be doing it.
but your kind of hands are tied
we've
until
never been that agency yet.
yeah. Well, that's
So,
okay.
it
So, but
takes
you're
place-
recommending the Raleigh branch for the FBI.
I would, yes.
All right, sounds good. All right, and is Bridges?
Bridges, yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Over the bridge.
Yeah. All right, I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. You take care of me.
All right.
Safe out here. Thank you.
All right, enjoy the day. Oh, do you know if Raleigh is doing Constitution Week? This is like 17th to 23rd.
What do they have? They're having something this week.
All right, because it's kind of like nationwide, different cities and stuff announced that they're doing Constitution
I
Week.
haven't heard
So.
about, but something is planned for downtown Raleigh.
Okay, cool.
Near the governor's mansion.
All right, appreciate it.
Take
Thank you.
care.
I'm sure you'll be shocked to find out that we did not hear back from the SBI and have not received any answer to the public records request that Mike submitted that day. We did, however, find out from a friend about a month later that there was a criminal summons out of Wake County for Mike. A charge signed by an Officer Moy. Remember him? I'll cover that in the next video. Thanks for tuning in.